Hey guys, welcome to Maverick Base Designs, and in this very special episode I'm bringing you Dome. Now this was asked for by Throat, and now Throat had approached me and he said, can you make me a dome? And I said, yeah man, that's what I do. So here we go. Now the first thing we're going to need to do is get TC down, and we're going to put it in this little hut here, and that will make TC safe whilst we lay out all the foundations for this. Now we'll get a few foundations away from the TC, and then we'll start dropping a couple of foundations here, and this will be for our stability bunker later on. Now we're going to be building this base in two stages essentially. So what we're doing here is we're building what I'm calling the cradle, which is the very base foundation, and then afterwards we'll separately build the dome on top. Now I put the TC down here in the cradle because you need it down here at the start of the build, because you just can't build that high and not have problems before you put a TC down. So this is to simplify things, but later on in the build you can move the TC. We'll keep the raiders guessing. So we'll keep them guessing, is the TC still down in the bottom, or have they moved the TC up into the main dome section? So this is the last layer to go on the foundations, which are essentially a hexagon in the middle and 3 square foundations coming off each side of that hexagon, and then infilling the triangle spaces in between with triangle foundations. Now if you've done it right, it should be looking something like this. Now I'm placing these frames here on the triangle foundations, and these are going to be our entrance ways into the other 5 little rooms that we have down here in the cradle. Oops, wrong way. So what we're doing here now is just making the stability bunker, and I've chose this because it has no sort of visually outside, you can't see if there's a bunker there basically, so it's a lot to do with aesthetics. Now I kind of feel I need to put a bit of a disclaimer in here. I know this base is a bit expensive for the raid cost, and it's not got peak downs and pixel gaps, but really this is a fun base. It's for looking cool in and just having a fun wipe, okay? So just let you know that. Now because we can't put doors all the way through this cradle section without them poking through the sloped roof, I'm putting these dividers in, which are basically going to force raiders to take the doors that are on either side of it. Now I know a lot of you already know this, but I'm just going to put it out there. Always put a triangle roof on a triangle foundation and a square roof on a square foundation. If you don't follow these rules, you're going to end up with some ugly overlaps. These overlaps also present a soft side, which is exploitable. So now you'll see why I've dropped a few of these foundations, and that's so that I can put the twig back here and then put a frame in there, which now allows me to seal the bunker from the inside as well as from the outside. These little alcoves could be used for beds or boxes, and of course here is a door path that we created now to the TC. Now that's the cradle pretty much completed, so now we're ready to move on to the actual dome. Now it's important that you put these tiles in here now, because when you put the slope roofs on later on, you'll never get these in. Also, I'm placing a triangle tile above where there's a triangle foundation, and the same goes with the squares. And the idea of that is we keep the symmetry of the base going all the way up through. Now we can put these frames in. You don't need them, but I see there's no point in leaving them out because the extra stability is always a good thing. Now we're ready to seal this whole floor in, and the reason we're doing that is because that's going to be honeycomb down there, because I feel fairly certain that anyone that's going to raid this actual dome is going to raid it from the bottom up. These frames here are going to stick through the roof that we put on, and they're going to be the supports for the walkway on the very top of dome. Now, because we're going to be dealing with a roof underneath us here, we need to get these frames in first, because we put the roof down and then these frames, they just won't go in. Now I'm building this inside using frames, and everywhere where I've put a frame is a stability point basically, and you can either put a frame there or a wall there, but whatever you do, you have to put something there to keep the stability. Now I'm not going to be doing a detailed plan of the inside of the base. I mean, I really feel that you guys can do what you want with it inside, but what I will do is give you a couple of suggestions. And this is the first suggestion. You could have inside lots of 1x1s all spread apart from each other. To bring the raid cost up, you would actually have to individually raid each one of these, causing no splash damage to any others, or very little. So this is a second idea I'm going to throw out there, and it's the mathematically unraidable circle base, and I've put it all around the inside of it, and it's got a huge door path, so raiding it would also be very costly. And as you can see, if you look upstairs, I've done a second mathematically unraidable circle base, slightly smaller, but it all helps to increase the raid cost. Now it's all a little flat up here, which isn't how dome is, so I'm just going to use these ramps to give the illusion of a curvature on the top. Now, before I start, I'm going to apologise for this bit, guys, because it's really fiddly. I'm flying because it's just a pain to be able to lay these as you go. But trust me, it is so worth it. There is just something so cool about running around a spiral ramp and staircase around the outside of your base. It's just so cool. Now we've done a couple of sides of the base with a walkway on, what we're now going to do is put a solid square piece down, and that will be for our staircase later on. Once you've placed that square floor tile, you can then move your walkway up a half wall height. Now that the walkway has gone around the base a couple of sides on this level, we're now ready to step up another level. And of course, the same as the real dome, we're going to be using a ladder to get up onto the walkway. Once that's done, we're ready to put in these low walls. Now, just like on the real dome, we're going to be putting little spaces in between. There's not a complete wall that goes all the way around. And that's good as well, because that gives you somewhere to fire out of if you do need to defend the base. Now we're going to come down into the cradle section, and the fear of being foundation wiped is going to make us metal these foundations all in the core here. Now, just armouring these roof sections is purely for aesthetics, because it just looks terrible with the white side of the sheet metal showing on the outside. This won't really increase the raid costs unless you do the whole of the floor. Now you can put just a ladder hatch in the top, But if you want the option of a bunkered roof, you can use my floating stability bunker design, and it works fine in the top here. And there we go, it's as easy as that, no messing around. Now I'm going to be softening the corners of the base here by using rugs, and they will also simulate the little bit of tree growth that you get on dome as well. Now if you really want to make it look like dome, this is how you can put the handrails up, and that's by putting a twig low wall down all the way around up here. Now I'm just simply using an industrial combiner, and I'm going to put one everywhere where I think that there will be an upright on the handrail. Now once that's done, you can use your tool and you can connect these up and of course make the actual handrail out of the piping. Well, once all the piping's done, you can remove the actual twig. And remember, you can't lean on this handrail because it's not really there, it's purely for aesthetics.